Welcome back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. My name is D-Free, your host for today's video and every other video on the channel, D-Free. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We're going to go ahead and talk about the hooray 777 days of operation reached. Multiple celebrating events are here. The 777 day celebration, including a breakdown, not really like a full formal breakdown, but a little bit of insight into the LR Hercule unit, which will be later on in the video, and I'll tell you guys how to acquire Hercule. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you are new, punch that like button and subscribe, of course. Multiple celebrating events. Yeah, so per normal, right, they have special missions, which we'll get into a little bit later. They have the Hercule World Tournament, the training boost. They have the 16 World Tournament, which features this Boo, which I was hoping it would be the adult Gohan, like the STR Super Saiyan 1 with the orange star high school clothes on, because that guy's great on Super STR, especially if you don't have like Kaba, which nobody has yet on Global. So he's great there on that team as an optimal unit, so definitely want to go ahead and get him. That being said, the Boo isn't super good, but I feel like they brought the Boo out because they're bringing LR Hercule out. I don't think there's any news in this post about. No, there isn't. So it's a separate thing, which we'll look at in a minute. But aside from that, we have Cooler coming on 8/28. So August 28th. What is that? That's a Monday. Not tomorrow, but the following Monday. So should be pretty cool. Cooler's coming out. I've been asked if Goku's coming out. Safe to assume that Goku will not come out alongside Cooler because he's not mentioned here. It's not saying like dual Dokkan Fest or anything like that. So it'll just be exclusively Cooler. So if you did pull Omega Shenron, this is a cool chance to basically use him on the second best team for him aside from his own team, which Global can't adequately run right now because he has no leader skill. But there's a cool chance to do that and you know, be able to use Cooler. If you have full power Frieza and Shenron, you could form a very powerful team. I've actually done a video on that, Extreme Physical, with, you know, Sin, Shenron, Omega, all those guys on it, so check that out if you want to. And other than that, we have news on LR Hercule. So you get the championship belt, the champion belt, from the middle tab of the Baba shop. So the middle one, so there's the first one we use Baba points, second one we use Zenny, third one is the treasury. You get in the Zenny tab. So you go over there. I think you can get up to 3 a day, and he requires a lot of them though. So this Hercule you get from the friend summon is the one that Dokkan awakens. He's been in the game since like forever. He's super common to get, but believe it or not, way back in the game, not even like way back, probably like honestly like 8 to 10 months ago, maximum, probably less than that, maybe 6. He was the hardest card to get in the game. One of the hardest cards to get in the game, I'll say. His rate was abysmal before the LR androids came, basically, where they rebuffed the friend summons. His rate was abysmal. So if you had this Hercule at that point, you were honestly had one of the luckiest accounts to that point. So it's pretty funny. Anyways, he requires those and he awakens. It's not saying how many, but I believe that the second stage requires like 70. I think the first one is like 10 and the second one's like 70. And they're each one sells for 1,000,000 Zenny, so it's quite expensive. You can get 3 a day, so I feel like it should take probably a couple weeks to actually get the LR Hercule card if you get it every day faithfully. But let's go ahead and take a look at the unit, in which I'll also tell you guys how many it costs to get him, because I'm going to be bugged by that. So we have the wiki pulled up here for Dokkan. So this is the TUR form with Boo laying down. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. It requires 70 medals to make the TUR form awaken to LR. And then the original one, this guy requires 20. So it costs like 100 medals. So, alright, so this is the SSR version. Costs 100 medals basically, because the original one, the actual original one that you would summon, you get this one first. It requires 10. Then you get the one we just looked at. That one requires 20. Then the following one requires 70 to get him to LR. So it requires 100,000,000 Zenny. Wow, he's expensive. Reminds me of LR Broly. Definitely the most expensive free-to-play LR card. Alright, so let's take a look at what the unit actually does, what you'd be getting if you got LR Hercule. So we're going to pull him up here. All types leader. So he's a cool all types leader for HP and defense. Unfortunately, no attack. So your units will tank really well, but they'll hit like flowers, unless you have a good attack leader as a friend, I guess. But either way, you're still missing one leader skill buffing attack. But either way, still once again, a solid leader. Doesn't offer any ki, which isn't the greatest, but he is self-sufficient. We'll get to that in a minute. Causes colossal damage with the first super attack with a rare chance to stun, so that's going to be 10%, I believe. I think that's what rare equates to, so it's going to be very uncommon that he actually stuns with that, but it could be clutch at times. Causes Mega Colossal with the 18 plus ki super, and raises his defense by 50% for 3 turns. So literally what you have here. By the way, passive, great chance to get attack plus 20,000 and 7 ki. So a 70% chance or so, 75 if I'm highballing, to get 20,000 attack and 7 ki to begin with. And then on top of that, if you have the leader skill buffs, you run him on tech or something, he'd start off with 6 anyway. So before he gets a single orb, not even factoring in ki links, which he doesn't really have very many of, but not factoring in links, it's going to have 11 ki naturally. So it shouldn't be very hard to get the Ultra Super off, assuming that it links relatively well or you have good orb layout on the field. Hero is a link that basically is utterly useless. It has some characters from Dragon Ball Fusions, I think. It has Tekka in there from Dragon Ball Fusions. It has other Hercule cards, which I don't think you can use them with him because his name is just Hercule. It's not Hercule and Boo or anything like that. Soul versus Soul, which is a solid link, but I believe it's only for the Kid Boo event, so it's utterly useless. No. Soul versus Soul is for the... Wow, he has Soul versus Soul and Supreme Power. That's funny. Soul versus Soul is a 1 ki link for super old link for the Tech Cell event, which also transfers over to the STR Cell event. Really old link. Weakens regeneration. Yeah, that's the one that stops Cell from healing for like whatever he heals to. It like lowers it a lot. It's been a long time since I've used that. Golden Z Fighter, which is a solid key link, but not very many of the units have it. It's very exclusive. Maybe in the future they expand upon it, but there are a couple tech units that have it, but I don't. They're Super Strike and then the Mob Shop Yamcha. 2 key link, the new Goku and Vegeta have it, semi-new Goku and Vegeta have it. Supreme Power is a plus 1,000 attack link. I think it could also be 1,000 attack and defense, but it's for the Kid Buu event, so it's not really relevant. Innocence is a solid link as well, but once again, not very relevant on this team. I guess if you're running Tech SS3 Go Tanks, the kid one, and the adult one, I think that he still has that. Maybe they took it off. You get that 10% link, which I guess could be cool. Hercule doesn't have, my point is, Hercule doesn't have very many good links. Yeah, they took it off of him. So adult SS3 Gotenks originally had that link, and at the last minute before they dropped him on which this doesn't even count for global now that I think about it. But anyways, last minute before they dropped him, they took that link off of him. He's not available on global though, so disregard that. Last little bit, he has Shattering the Limit, which is the rebirth link, and Legendary Power. So outright, his best links are Shattering the Limit and Legendary Power. But Legendary Power is not really useful. So the only real useful link that he would have in a lot of scenarios, depending on the team that you're running, would be the Shattering the Limit. Fortunately for him, that's a 2-key link, so he may still have relevance with that. So you have a unit who has a natural 8,000 base defense and 16,000 HP, basically a tank god, right? He's designed to get high defense. Under a SS3 Goku lead, whenever that card drops, he's going to get double 120% up defensively. He is designed to be a very good tank, somewhere in line with 70k, 80k defense at maximum. But the problem is he resets after 3 turns. It can't go further than that. If you see a lot of newer cards, they start looking at, 6 turns and stuff like that. So you can actually accumulate that. So I don't know how big of a deal that'll be depending on the team that you're running offensively. But he still has some solid damage output because of the fact he can go to 24 key. So the 24 key multiplier is 200. At maximum super attack level, I think he gets a little bit stronger. No, it doesn't say it here, so I don't want to say that if it doesn't say it because I don't know off the top of my head. But either way, Hercule's not a bad unit. He's just highly expensive. And the problem with Hercule is that there's not a whole lot of relative scenarios where you'd use him. But if you're looking to build up your account, you can grab the LR Goku now, grab this guy, and all of a sudden you've got you a couple of LRs. You maybe in the hopes of summoning this guy as a tech unit, you pull the LR androids or other things. Maybe you're a little more advanced in this or whatever in your account building, and all of a sudden you have a few LRs. So not a bad unit to just have, right? So anyways, that's it. Once again, Cooler is coming. The LR Hercule stuff is live. Make sure you're buying those if you're interested in Hercule. Anyways, have an awesome day. Thank you guys for the support. I'll catch you guys later on.